Tournament Talk on the Tournament Edge, Saturday, November 12th. Delmar, love this place. Race 8, $55,000 allowance, optional claimer. 2 turns on the turf, 3-year-olds and up, field of 10. He Will, the 9-horse, your 3-1 morning line favorite. It's Jerry Hollendorfer. It's my guy, Rafael Bejarano. Horse to beat, plain and simple. We'll get the pace set up. It's got the best jockey, to me, second best in the country. He'll work out the trip. I'm just going to try to play against because I know that 3-1 is an afterthought. This horse will be 9-5, 2-1 in my opinion when they leave the gate. He's going to be coming from out of it to a certain degree. He's just going to have to beat me, but certainly has every opportunity to do so.
Yeah, like you said, Bob, I believe this one's the horse to beat as well. I think I used this one back in the May 30th race, if I'm not mistaken. Was my single to the pick 5. Not really sure if I hit it that day, but I recognize the name, and I know that this one helped me out there. Like you said, no problem with this one being the favorite. He has numbers that rightfully so make him the favorite. A 95 buyer out of that last race at Santa Anita. Not Javier. Rafael Bejarano just gave him a tremendous ride. Rode him like he was the best horse, and caught every horse down deep in the lane. Concerned that he would dip below to 3-1. For that reason, I think I had to go find something. The horse I'm going to land on here is number 2, Bonde Noeste.
Hey, very close. Valiant effort, Andrew.
If that wasn't butchered enough for you guys, I really like this one getting back to the regular turf course here rather than the 6.5 downhill sprint that this one's been running, and actually has been running very well. Wins by a nose back on September 30th, loses by a neck to Moonlight Drive last time out. Really think that this one will get a pace set up. Yep. Wouldn't be surprised if this one is showing a little more speed on the front end. Bob, I don't know from a pace perspective, obviously we'll dig into that. I don't know where you really have this horse, but I have this horse showing a little more tactical speed. Could be on the lead, but has the ability to rate. I like that. I don't necessarily think, and I don't handicap West Coast races that much, but I don't necessarily think that horses that are coming from the downhill turf sprint at Santa Anita, going 2 turns at Delmar, necessarily need to show speed,
right?
In order to keep up. Right. It's not the same as a 6.5 sprint at Belmont, then going 2 turns at Saratoga. I think that horse is so intricate that it's not necessarily a necessity to show so much speed. So I think this one, nonetheless, is a very tactical horse and is a very talented horse that is just undercovered with some weird running lines here. So either way, I think this one's a very talented horse at 8-1. I threw out that September 5th race at Delmar, on the dirt, being 13 lengths. Don't really believe that this one, is really bred for the dirt. As you can see, was running primarily on turf and back in Brazil. Nonetheless, I think this one sits a perfect trip, can save ground on the rail. Kenta Sormo, I use him for value here. Sprint to route, Peter Miller, who's been heating up, clicks at 17% with a positive ROI. When he gets Kenta Sormo on board, they're hitting near 32%. I think a lot of things are lining up for this one. So I'm going to be on Bonde Noeste, probably butchered it again. But Bobby, you can take it from here.
Listen, I'm going to ask you about Hobbit's Hero. I mean, that horse is clearly one of the fastest horses on the West Coast, going 2 turns. For me, though, Andrew, the horse just doesn't want to go this far. The mile hits him between the eyes, and I think he's going to have company. But had to ask you about Hobbit's Hero, which is a heck of a lot easier to pronounce than Bonde Noeste.
We're terrible.
Hobbit's Hero, what do you think there?
Hobbit's Hero, like you said, Bob, this one running at the mile distance. If this was a mile race, he should literally be the 9-5 favorite. I think he's the best miler in the group.
Right.
But, even these added distances, let's go back to October 14th off the layoff. Ran well, set some pretty easy fractions. You think this one's going to get away with it. Loses at 6-5 at the mile and 8 distance. Back to August 14th, obviously he's at the mile, does it his own way, wins. Beats a very talented horse who I believe in St. Joe Bay that day in a very salty 11-horse field, 100 buyer. July 23rd, mile and 16th, on the front end, gives it up in the last second. I don't think this one is going to get the extra furlong here. That's what I'm afraid of here. The workout last time out was good. But I just don't think that no doubt that he's the quickest horse in the race, but I don't think this one wants to go the distance.
If this horse cannot win October 14th at Santa Anita at a mile and 8 at 1-1 with a clear lead with Rafael Bejarano aboard. This horse just cannot go that far. Horse wants to go a mile. And furthermore, I think the horse is going to have company. And I think Peter Miller is trying to set it up for your top selection with the one horse, Stormy Liberal. If you go way back in the running lines to this racetrack, November 22nd of last year at a mile, look how fast those fractions were for this horse. I think Miller's got the one horse in this race for a reason, to make sure that Hobbit's Hero is worn out on the front end. Do you think Stormy Liberal is the horse that's going to keep Hobbit's Hero company?
I think so, and when I analyze this race, I circled those two right off the bat. I think Peter Miller is going to win this race regardless, in my opinion. If we're throwing out the 9, from a touring perspective, I think Peter Miller wins this race. Stormy Liberal is going to be a pain in Hobbit's Hero size. 33% off the claim from 94 claims this year with a 281 ROI. I mean, that speaks numbers. This is a 4-day short of a jail move here. Obviously I don't want to contradict myself by saying earlier that, I don't think you necessarily need to show speed from down the hill to 6 furlongs to a mile and 16th like this race. But this one has raced at this distance before, or has raced at the mile distance, and has shown blazing fractions. So I agree with you. If this one's a pain in Hobbit Hero's side, I think that sets it up so much more for my selection.
I want to ask you about the 3-horse Crown the Kitten. Now, the bottom line is this horse's last race, I think, wins this race. But this horse has never run the 122 Timeform U.S. speed figure in his career until last time out. And it's not even been close. The closest that this horse has ran to that was a 107. But this horse is going to take money off that last effort. And Flavian Pratt is aboard, who takes money on this type of setting all the time on the West Coast. He can beat me at 4-1. Your thoughts on the 3?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. And this one's, 0 for 8 this year with 6 seconds. I think that's why a lot of people will bet this one below 4-1. Because of those so many second place efforts here. I think this one comes from the clouds, Bob, and I just don't think it's going to set up from something that deep. I think the winner comes from off the pace, obviously, because I'm on the number 2. Banking that he sets that second shelf trip, sitting about 2 or 3 lengths off the lead. But if this one's, 7 or 8 lengths back, like I've been seeing in prior races, I don't think it gets done today.
No, I don't think so as well. I wanted to mention to you my price play if my top selection is bet down, which I don't think will be. But a horse that I found to be very intriguing was the 8-horse, and that's Burger and Fries. Great name, by the way. 3rd off the layoff for Peter Gallagher, and Tyler Bays gets aboard. Now, look, first time in the United States, August 6th, 102 Timeform U.S. speed figure, never a factor, beat 11 lengths. 10-point improvement next time out, only beat 2 1/4. And this pace could heat up, and I think the mile and the 8th, mile and the 16th distance is what this horse wants to do. The book says 3rd off the layoff will give you your best race. This horse is sitting off its best race 29 days later. I think 15-1 is tremendous value in a horse like this.
Without a doubt, and this is a horse that I think was pinned on the rail in his last start, and it took him some more time, to get off the rail and close late. So I really like this post position. We'll try to get this one included. Patrick Gallagher, 26%, second off the layoff here. Like you said, you saw a 10-point increase from the time form perspective. I have a 13-point increase from the DRF speed figure. Buyer scale, I apologize. So I definitely think you can get this one involved at a price
and
like
that's a huge jump for Andy Byer's scale manager. I mean, he certainly does not like to throw out numbers like that. I don't think I've seen horses lately that have increased from one race to the next like that on Andy Byer's scale. That, to me, makes this horse even more playable.
Yeah, without a doubt. The more I look at this name, Burgers and Fries, just kind of making me hungry. The East Coast kid got some In-N-Out this past weekend in California.
Right.
That was something else. But nonetheless, I think this one could spark the board with a huge number.
Well, Andrew, you and I, once again, are landing on the same horse. Not going to even attempt to pronounce that name again, but I'm on the 2 at 8-1. Listen, I think this horse wants to stretch out. He's versatile, as we talked about. I watched the 2 replays going down the hill. His last race in defeat was better than his first race in which he won. I think this horse absolutely wants to stretch out. DeSorma is going to be able to put this horse wherever he wants, which I'm hoping is about middle of the pack, or maybe setting 3rd looking at the other Miller horse and Hobbit's Hero burn each other out and get first run on horses that are more accustomed to that 2-turn distance, such as the 3-horse, such as Burger and Fries, such as He Will. I think this horse's best race is yet to come, and it's going to be in this one. And furthermore, go back to this horse's one time going 2 turns. A 106 time form US speed figure, yes, beat 7, but it's still a fast race off of a 294-day layoff. First race in the country. 8-1, Andrew, with these connections, jockey-trainer combination, as hot as it gets as of late. Horse that's versatile, can do whatever he wants. And DeSormo loves races like this with horses like this on the turf course. Do you think we're going to get 8-1 when they leave the gate?
You know, honestly, with Crown the Kitten, Hobbit's Hero, and He Will, I think we're gonna catch 8-1. To be honest, I think that's a very square morning line price. I feel like this horse will be overlooked, given he doesn't have too much experience running stateside, going 2 turns on a flat turf course. So I really think the price will be there for us, Bob.
I'm going to put the 2 in the 8 on top and a try. Throw a lot of the other horses that we mentioned underneath for place, and then hoping to catch a price for third place, because I think this race could certainly be a very valuable race from a wagering standpoint.
Yeah, without a doubt. I'm in the same boat with you here. I wanted to get the one involved and just key the 2 Peter Miller horses. I originally thought of going 2 all 1, 2 1 all, and do something like that. But then on another ticket, you know, I'm going to have the horses that we spoke about, especially Burgers and Fries. That one will not be left off my ticket.
Absolutely. So Andrew and I are on the same horse, the 2 horse. It's the other Miller with Kent DeSormo aboard. That's going to do it for race 8 at Delmar on Saturday, November 12th. It is the $55,000 allowance optional claimer going 2 turns on the turf. Before Andrew and I go, we have to remind you about TTE games being created by the players, for the players. Check them out this weekend. A lot of fun and dynamic race, different types of tournaments, Andrew, with live bankroll games, anti-stabbing games. It's been created for you guys, so enjoy it and have fun. That's Andrew Calvano. I'm Bobby Shoemaker, and until next time, and as always, good luck.
Good luck, guys.